Mr. Wallace, what are your greatest assets and qualifications to be the representative for the 7th District, and which committee would you like to sit on if elected?
I think my best asset is the experience that I've had both as a city council member and working on a lot of different governmental agencies through the years, including some time working on Senator Thurman's campaign back in 1996. And some advice that he gave me was that when someone is there looking for help, it's your job to help them. And that's something that I think I've tried to follow as long as I've been on city council. So anyone who calls me knows that I'll call them back. And I think if you're a congressman, that's a very important asset to have, that you're there to help people when they come to a problem. In our district, we have a lot of very diverse needs. I think transportation and infrastructure here in Horry County, I-73 is important, dredging the Georgetown Port. In other regions of the district, agriculture, so I was going to ask the Agriculture Committee, and natural resources, which is, of course, beach renourishment, and of course, energy, which is something that I serve on the Energy, Environment, Natural Resources Committee for the National League of Cities, and we've been working on that for a while. I think that's a huge opportunity both for our district and our country to unleash our natural resources and our energy reserves. All
right, thank you, Mr. Wallace. Mr. Bauer, same question. In case you all forget the question, it's up on the monitor as well.
The greatest assets for me is, first and foremost, I'm a small business owner. I was a small business owner in college. I was a small business owner the entire time I held public office, and I'm a small business owner now. I continue to see what government does to make it tougher and tougher every day on people like myself. During that time, I came to Myrtle Beach and I retired here, chose to live here, and it's been a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. And that's why so many people continue to move to Myrtle Beach every single day. I'll be the leader that continues to encourage people to move here. I'll be the leader that goes out and creates economic opportunities for this district, just like I did last month in creating over 100 jobs. And I'll hold steadfast in not buckling to the leadership, not buckling to the other party or anybody else, but staying true and firm when it comes to growing government. We have got to have a substantial reduction in what we spend as a government. We have got to rein in wasteful spending. And therefore, I would request to be on the Budget Committee, because I would be a person that looked at every single item and asked the question every day, is it worth borrowing money from countries like China to fund these expenditures?
Mr. Rice, you got 1 minute.
Thank you. My most important asset is that I'm a Christian. Second, I'm conservative. Third, I hold a degree in undergraduate degree in accounting, master's in accounting, and a law degree. Fourth, I have, in my time here on county council, proven that I can create jobs. We put in a job creation program that funded 7 months ago and is already working, and we're working 20 different projects. We're going to turn this economy around. Horry County is going to be creating jobs. Before I got on council, for the last 5 years, we'd averaged 106 jobs. We've already created 150 in January, 50 last month, and we're going to announce over 100 this month or next. We've already tripled the average production. Job creation is the most important issue in this country, and I'm a proven asset.
As far as the greatest assets, I've got several that I want to mention to you. First of all, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a Christian, I'm conservative, and I'm in sales. And when you have all of those attributes and you take those to Washington, D.C., you're going to see a difference. You need to take family values up to Washington, D.C., and you need to put family values back in Washington, D.C. But for the 7th District, you need somebody in sales that understands what the 7th needs. They need somebody that can create opportunities for businesses and industries to come here. That's what I did in my background. I was in sales, and I went into the industries, and I taught with industries, and I promoted opportunities for jobs to come in. I agree with Bike Week. I agree with the jobs that need to be brought in. You have so many families and so many businesses that have been destroyed because Bike Week has been left out, and you have people with opportunities that are there that need to have work. So I'm one of the people that can go up there that can help bring those jobs back to the 7th District.
My greatest asset is my faith in God. A second asset is that I have faith and belief in the Constitution of the United States, which I believe should be followed. The department that I would like to be on would be the Department of Education, because through education, we can raise the hopes and the opportunities of the generations to come and the present generations, bring economic power back to the United States. We have companies that won't come to the U.S. because of the high dropout rate in our schools of 25 to 30%. We have students that graduate high school that cannot read or write. We need to change things, and one of the ways to change things is to get rid of the Department of Education and let it come back to home rule, state education, so that we can educate our youngsters and ourselves to be the greatest economic power this world has ever seen once again. Thank you.
Mr. Whittington?
Well, my father had his Master of Arts in teaching from Harvard after World War II. When I was 9 years old, kind of a good news, bad news, they had me tested, and they think I had a really strong mind, and my mother told me I was special. The problem was I believed her all these years, but I have been able to be a force for solving problems. I did that when I was in the Navy at the big naval base at Subic Bay. I was given the job of the Fleet Services Officer, learning how to get things done when we didn't have the proper resources. I just seem to be the one that when a group of us is doing something, I just seem to have some leadership qualities. I've done that in the service. I've done that with my business. In the Bible study groups that I'm involved in, I seem to be the one leading some of the discussion or getting into some of the new and interesting ideas. So as far as committees, probably, you know, as a freshman, we're going to have to take what we get. It's probably be what Henry Brown had or something like that. Thank you.
Ms. Jen Rebel, a minute.
Yes, I just didn't say I'd fight for the Constitution. I actually did it. Yeah.
All right.
I've seen the government from the lowest level, as I was on a planning commission in North Myrtle Beach, to being a congressional aide and working constituent service, which is a very important part of the job. I know I've worked with many of the federal agencies that need to be done away with. I've worked with many of the federal agencies that are actually outlined in Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution. And I've worked with national security, national defense, and I've worked with foreign policy. So I think out of all these candidates, I am the most well-rounded person to be able to represent you in Congress.
Mr. Jordan?
Thank you. My faith, my family, my sincerity, I believe, make me a candidate you should consider when it comes to what are my qualifications to serving you. As I said in my opening statement, our government is gone off track when it comes to what it's supposed to do and gotten into things that it has no business doing. We're going to need someone to go up to Washington that has courage and conviction to make some tough decisions. That's why I'm going around talking about term limits, talking about fighting Obamacare. That's why I'm not taking the Congressional Retirement Program. And those are going to be things that we're going to have to go up there with the mindset that it's, I use the word patriot sometimes when I go around and talk to folks. We need to get back to where our government was founded on, the motivation that the founders had in establishing our government. As to the committee, honestly, I probably would like to get on some of the ones mentioned, but I'd like to get rid of most of them myself. So I wouldn't have much to choose from once if I'm successful in getting rid of some of them. But I think that is one of the things that leads to our waste and will give us an opportunity to get government back on track and getting rid of a lot of those committees.
Mr. Prosser?
I believe that experience and bringing common sense change to government is critically important in this election. I've done that when I was head of the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Tourism. I started by eliminating 2 entire layers of top bureaucracy. I led by example when I eliminated state-assigned SUVs, including my own. And I think that's an attitude and approach that we need to bring in Washington critically in order to reduce the deficit and eliminate the debt. We've got to change the way that we do business. And in order to do that, I think my talents and my experience could be best used on the Government Reform and Oversight Committee.
Thank you all.